To our next prompt, which is, does society need more trad wives or girl bosses?
Who can define these terms?
Okay, so a girl boss is like slave the house. She's independent, bro. She's her own boss. You know, she don't need a man.
And the trad wife is what traditional?
Is like a woman who's like, I gotta cook and clean for my husband.
Girl boss doesn't necessarily mean going out and being a CEO or doing whatever. It's just an empowerment of doing what they want to do, being able to choose that, you know, the best choice for that relationship is to stay at home and take care of a kid, whether that's the man or the woman or whoever in the partnership, or to go and work.
I don't care if she's traditional or trad. She's got to follow my program and my rule as a man. And what I'm saying is, she can go and be a boss at the job, but when she comes home, she's gonna take that shirt or hat off, and she's gonna follow my lead and follow what I have to say, because I'm the man. She's got my name. She's got my ring. She's under my roof.
Of course. As far as the traditional wives, I mean, my wife kind of fits that mold. She does work from home, but I was in the military for over a decade, and so I was a sole provider, and she would stay at home and raise her kids, and that's just really worked for us. So I also have a 16-year-old daughter that I'm also raising to be a traditional wife.
Can we get a show of hands of folks who think they're a good fit for this? 1, 2, 3.
A lot of times, whether a woman should be a stay-at-home wife or whether she can like work and do other things in society is kind of a cloaked sexist argument. And so I think that whether or not a man or a woman in a relationship, you know, who's the stay-at-home parent, who's working, should be a function of the individuals and should not be a function of us doing these, you know, gender role-based prescriptions.
I'm caught between him and him, but the most important question for me is, are you paying all the bills?
The girl bosses have been detrimental to society, and how trad wives have actually helped build the family and through homemaking raise up the kids instead of them going out to the public school system or being raised by strangers because the girl bosses were too busy working to care about their kids.
Traditional wives is outdated. We find that women who have leadership roles do have higher success, arguably, than men, because they get people to work together better, I feel. Men, it's about competition.
In like modern society, most physicians are women, most lawyers in America are women, the most educated people out of men and women are women. They attend school at higher rates, they graduate at higher rates.
The capability women have to raise children, the innate ability that my mother has, the connection she has with me, is something that is very important. And I feel like girl bosses lack that.
If you're going to say that the woman's duty is to serve the man, say it just as much conviction that it's the man's job to serve the woman.
And the question, we need more trad wives versus girl bosses? That's a question, right? So like, I would advocate for that. You know?
Let's just how much time? I know Anthony. Raise your hand for Anthony.
Steve, you want to vote for Steve? 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna vote for myself.
Well, all right. Well, I'm going to assume everybody's voting for themselves. Votes for Jay. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, there we go. It's yours.
All right, both sides have chosen a speaker to debate this prompt, so let's bring forward Anthony and Greg. Greg, Anthony, the question was, does society need more trad wives or girl bosses? I'll let you take it from here.
I definitely think that society needs more trad wives. Putting women in the workplace is actually a failed feminist movement, which minimized wages for men, and then it gave the government free control over the children, right, to a public education system, and I think that's also why we have a lack of masculinity in society. So
Okay. Yeah, so there's 3 claims there. There was the government controlling the children, and then the wages being stolen from men.
I didn't say it was stolen.
Oh, sorry. How did you phrase it?
No, you said it was like minimizing wages for men.
Minimizing. Okay, yeah, sorry. Causing an impact on men. And what was the first one?
It was moving women to the work.
Moving women, okay, yeah. So there is no statistically significant difference between the cognitive abilities of men and women. You can obviously find an outlier study or two that says something else.
Sure.
And so
that's not what we're debating, though.
Well, no, but it's to, I'm building to my point.
Okay.
Yeah, so in that context, I think we should have a society that empowers men and women equally to pursue whatever works best for them and in their relationship. Like, for example, we have friends who are married, you know, man and woman, and they are both in healthcare. And they both take turns working. Like, you know, dad will work one day, mom will work the other day. And I think it's awesome if we have career opportunities. We have things like, affordable childcare, paid family leave, anything in society that supports people to make the decision that works best for their family, I think is positive. And I think if we had better options for people to pursue what works for them individually, we would have, as the prompt described it, more girl bosses.
But I think your argument is that if only we were to put women in workplaces, which no one's debating that they shouldn't be, the question is not should we restrict women from doing it, it should be should we have more trad wives, right? And so my argument is that there are studies that show that having, and I can speak personally, I've been married for close to 20 years, I was in the military for a little bit over a decade, I worked, I provided, that's worked for me, that's worked for my parents, that's worked for my grandparents, that's why we're traditional, we carry down these traditions from family to family, and so we see that our children are thriving. I see that my children have a mother at home that loves them and is able to be with them for their school events or for sporting, things like that, and it's worked for us. So, the question is, do we need more girl bosses? Do we need more women away from their children? And I just don't think that that's what we need more of.
So why? So if the woman is away from, it's just one parent's at home and one parent's at work, right? That's kind of what we're describing. It's just, so what is the issue with a man being the stay-at-home parent?
Well, I just don't think that's the role of a man. Here's the reality. My wife and I both work from home. I'm on the field a lot because I'm an independent journalist, so I do travel a lot more for work.
Right.
But we both work from home, and that's actually great too. Because then I also get to partake in a lot of the things that we do. So if like my kid has a sporting event 2 p.m., I'm not stuck in the office. I'm able to do that. But going back in where I was deployed for months at a time and having my wife stay at home, I think that it would have been detrimental that not only do my kids have a deployed parent, but they also have a mother that's stuck at work 8 to 5.
Well, definitely. I think that you're I think we're not necessarily disagreeing there. So what you're describing is, in your situation, it made the most sense to have your wife be a trad wife, right? I'm a millennial. I feel silly saying trad wife. It's not my verbiage. Yeah. Would you agree that it makes sense for us to have those cases where it might make more sense for there to be a girl boss allowed to happen. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Sure. Like I think what your argument is that we probably live in a society where women also have to work, and so what I'm saying is, yes, I have a personal bias of why my wife should stay at home, but also there's studies to show that women that tend to stay at home with children tend to have a happier family. They tend to be able to have less divorce rates, for example, as opposed to two people that are usually always at work and they rarely see each other, they rarely spend time with their kids. There's also some studies that show that kids do better in the long run when they have a parent that stays at home, for example.
What's interesting is regarding studies on stay-at-home parenting, on the census, an at-home dad is defined as somebody who has not been in the workforce and not made money over the past 52-week period, over the past year. And so when you look at studies of stay-at-home dads, you miss out on things like, as you mentioned, people who do remote work or people who work part-time. And so I'm not as confident as you are in the sort of evidence base for this claim that, stay-at-home dads are somehow detrimental compared to stay-at-home moms. I believe it was the American Psychological Association put out a statement on this where they said that as long as it's a stable, loving household, that's the most, that's kind of the highest bar you have. But so
I'm just gonna pause you because we're out of time, so I want to push you both towards offering a statement that you think both of you would agree on regarding trad wives and girl bosses.
Would you agree that in a circumstance where it makes the most sense for that family to have a girl boss, we should facilitate that?
I don't agree with that just because what you're almost claiming is that the family can only be successful if the woman is a girl boss.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant to claim at all. I must have so I'm just trying to say, should we look at people as individuals and look at individual circumstances and then have people do what makes the most sense for their individual circumstances instead of making these broad kind of gender-based prescriptions where it's like, you're a woman, so you should do this, you are a man, or as you do in your own life. It sounds like your situation is not exactly a traditional situation because you are considering your personal circumstances, your personal strengths.
But also studies back that, right? So that's what I was saying, less divorce rates. And then if you want to get into like the intricacies, like, a family that goes to a church every single week has a 50% less chance of getting divorced, right? So it's just a little, I guess, difficult to come to the realization of like, it's only if a girl boss was there, right? Because I mean, there is that question after us. Should we have more girl bosses? Not should we allow women to work, which is all part of lawful, way of doing things. So I guess I'm just kind of having a hard time with that middle ground.
Yeah, what would yours be?
I think the conversation I've had with a lot of people, progressive men, is that they think that traditional men are just strictly against women working, period. And that's just not my view. I think that the rights are there. My wife works, right? But she works from home. And it doesn't really interrupt the household,
I think I have an idea. So what about we should make it easier for a family to have a girl boss if that works good for the family. Does that make sense?
Or let's flip it and let's make society easier so that the male can work and provide for his family on just a sole income without having to put two working parents and seeing their children off.
You know what encompasses both of those?
Sure.
So what I'm hearing is that we both have different ideas about what works best for a family. So maybe a middle ground statement would be, we should structure society in terms of our policies, our safety nets, things like that. So whatever works best for a family is available to that family, whether that's a trad wife or a girl boss in the household.
Let's empower families to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
It's a little soft. I think we need to address, like the role of women, which is what this prompt is saying.
I mean, hearing all 7 minutes of you, I wasn't convinced of like why we need girl bosses, right?
Right.
I listened to
but
statistics.
that's why we make individual
work,
decisions. Right? I'm not convinced of anything about your life, but
sure.
I think
even though studies show like it's better for the household.
So my opinion is that we should trust two adult people to make a decision about what's
just very nuanced, though. So it can mean anything, right? Oh, we should allow two parents to just do drugs all day because it's better for them.
Okay.
So it's just too nuanced. What I would say is we can live in a society where I guess girl bosses can thrive legally and trad wives can also thrive legally. I just think a girl boss can already thrive. It's harder for a woman to become a trad wife than it is for a woman in today's day and age with the current policies to become a girl boss.
Well, what is a version of it you would be able to agree with?
That we need more trad wives.
You're not giving us anything.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm working pretty hard here.
I think we'll just have to. We didn't find a middle ground statement for this one.
Yeah. We didn't come to an agreement, but I like your facial hair.
Thank you. I like your groove.
All right, nice to meet you, man.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah. And thanks for your service.
Yeah, of course.
So, by the context of this video, I don't know what a trade wife is, but I'm assuming that he's saying like a housewife versus a woman that's working. I don't think that it really matters. To be honest, I don't think that it really matters. As long as the kids are being taken care of, as long as everybody is playing their part. Personally, I don't really see a problem with this, so I'm kind of neutral, like, And they definitely didn't hold up a good argument. So honestly, if you could comment below and give me a better definition of what a trade wife is, or explain or ask the question a little bit more better than they did, because I don't really think this is a problem to be having a debate on, but Let me know if it was actually worth it.